ton of arm pain. It's way better now. Like, I'm not waking up the next morning anymore. Completely just can't move my arm, miserable. So it's definitely made baseball way more fun again. So I was super pushy. The abbreviated arm action was actually huge for me. First 2 weeks, like I did it, I just couldn't get it. And I texted you all frustrated, and you said just like stick with it, don't give up yet, because I was about to be like, I'm tired of just throwing like in that arm action. But I'm glad that I actually didn't. So I stuck to it and watched it in slow-mo. And I kept watching. It was like, wow, I think that's the first ball I haven't pushed like ever in my life. So it was definitely a pretty cool feeling of just sticking with it. And then just one day it just clicked. So I just PR'd inside 87, which for indoor for me, which was huge, because before that I was only up to 83 indoor. Because at the end of the day, it's more of a promise to yourself. Can I overcome this? Like for me, it was arm pain, like 3 years of arm pain. Like, can I prove to myself that I can overcome it? Like, I don't want to be just, I quit and then my entire life that's like in the back of my mind, like I gave up. Does this go into any other part of my life? Or can I say, it took me 3 years, but I'm finally starting to get it now, and I proved to myself that I'm capable of it, and carry that on as long as I live now.
We're here with Brody. Brody is a D3 grinder like myself at heart, but a pretty darn good one. And he's made a ton of progress heading into the fall of 2024. Throughout the course of the summer, he worked his butt off. He followed the plan to a T. He was super responsive, and he just put in the work every single day. And I think that he finally started to reap the benefits of that by sticking to the process. And so I would just like to start, my friend Brody, by just saying thank you for putting the work in and being so receptive and so responsive and just keeping me in the loop with everything. But yeah, I just want to kind of like go back to where you were at before we did start working together. Just kind of talk about your experience with college baseball and where you were at and what was the kind of final decision for you to where you were like, yeah, I want to get some additional guidance. I want to do something more one-on-one to try and reach the pinnacle of where I think I could be.
All right. So I'd say it definitely started with just like basic, just arm pain. So obviously just like pitching in games and say that you hang like a 2-2, like a curveball, and the guy crushes it into the gap. And like it's always like the back of your mind, like you're backing up third going, well, if my elbow wasn't bothering me, maybe that's a much better pitch. So it's just one of those things that always would just creep like into my mind at that time. So just like that. So I had a ton of arm pain. It's way better now. Like I'd say out of a scale of 10, like after I throw, it's like a 2 out of 10 now compared to like 6 out of 10. Like I'm not waking up the next morning anymore, completely just can't move my arm, miserable. So it's definitely made baseball way more fun again.
Oh yeah. Sweet. Do you want to highlight some of the things that we worked on this summer and like some of the progress that you made with some of those things?
Yep. So a lot of it was just arm action. So I was super pushy, just cleaned up that. The abbreviated arm action was actually huge for me, just to feel the arm. Like at first, like the first 2 weeks, like I did it, I just couldn't get it. And I texted you all frustrated, and you said just like stick with it, don't give up yet, because I was about to be like, I'm tired of just throwing like in that arm action. But I'm glad that I actually didn't. So I stuck to it. You sent me like the chest, like some stretches to do, and then before I knew it, I just one day set up the tripod and was like bound to be frustrated because I went through probably like a week where I just refused to record my arm action. And then I set up and was like, all right, like here we go. I try to have like that positive attitude. And then I recorded one, and then I watched it in slow-mo, and I kept watching. It was like, wow, I think that's the first ball I haven't pushed like ever in my life. So it was definitely a pretty cool feeling of just sticking with it, and then just one day it just clicked.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. And then relating to like velocity stuff, like how do you feel as to where like all of that stuff is right now?
Pretty good right now. It's on the uptick, like obviously. So I just PR'd inside 87, which for indoor for me, which was huge, because before that I was only up to 83 indoor. So I think that's a big thing of just the adrenaline. So I think so. I haven't thrown outside in game since, so I'm excited to see where that's at in the fall. Because obviously, some guys like for myself that I know, it's all adrenaline. So I can't play to my best if there's not a batter in there and just getting chirped at, obviously from the other side. So that's what I feed off. So I was glad to see that even though I couldn't always try to replicate that in my bullpens towards the end, I was actually able to just get some adrenaline or just again that push of velo.
Hmm. Hell yeah. And so to kind of wrap this up, for someone who is playing college baseball or is maybe dealing with some mechanical things, some pain, some injury, restrictions, mobility wise, like whatever it is, what kind of message would you send to someone who is in a similar spot to where you were at
I
before you start working
yeah.
again?
So I'd say it's pretty basic because obviously everyone says like don't give up, but you'll see especially like in college the guys around you do just drop like flies. There's like guys show up think that they're gonna get one thing and the program's completely different. They think they're gonna be like the all-star that year and then they're just not. Like exactly like I'm far from that, like even where I am now. So it's just about day in and day out, like don't give up. Because at the end of the day, it's more of a promise to yourself like can I overcome this? Like for me it was arm pain, like 3 years of arm pain. Like can I prove to myself that I can overcome it? Like I don't want to be just I quit and then my entire life that's like in the back of my mind like I gave up. Does this go into any other part of my life, or can I say it took me 3 years but I'm finally starting to get it now and I proved to myself that I'm capable of it, and that so I can carry that on as long as I live now.
Hell yeah. Sweet. Well, yeah, man, I'm just excited for you and I'm super appreciative of all the work that you put in and I'm proud of you.
Yeah,
And I'm just excited for everything you got coming up as well because we got a
yeah,
lot more work to do and a lot more goals to accomplish. And so yeah, I'm just excited for the future and I'm really, really impressed with all the work that you've put in and the progress that you've made. So thank you.
yeah. I'd also like to thank you just for being super receptive. I mean, I text you 1 to 2 hours later. It's always like a quick response, like a video if you have to explain anything. So you're super on top of it, and that's what helped me. Not waiting like 6 hours or even like a day or two, because at that point, I explained to you when I started, the biggest thing that I wanted was just to be able to get fast responses, just so like in that day I can fix it or think about it, and not have like a week of doing bad reps. So I think that's just been the biggest part is just you being so helpful so quickly. So I'm thankful for that
Yeah.
too.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, we're gonna keep working hard and accomplish some of these other goals we've got set out, and I'm just excited for it. So thank you again.
Yep, sounds good.